What's going on YouTube? Lex here with Blood No Oil. Today we're installing new carburetors on the CB900. Before we get started, I figured I'd take some time and explain why someone might want to do this swap. So number one, the stock carbs in this bike are vacuum operated. Some benefits to that are that regardless if you travel a lot and take your bike on the long road trips where you might end up in higher elevations or lower elevations from where you previously jetted your carbs, a vacuum system alleviates that by kind of, it only allows a certain amount of air volume into the air box and then into the carburetors after that. So it's a air regulator process really. That is a benefit. One of the negatives of that is that you do have to have an air box. And again, as I mentioned before, especially when I started this build, is I'm going for a super clean look. You guys saw I tried to make pods work. They ran okay, but definitely not as good as the bike could have. So doing a little bit of research, I found this little company called Murray's Carbs. And they offer this kit for this bike that essentially gives you 2 Mikuni flat slide carburetors, which yes, you'll have to rejet if I move somewhere in the mountains or below sea level. It's also just, I can get rid of that air box, keep the clean look. It's also a dual carb setup instead of quad. So there's only 2 of them. If I have to synchronize them, I only have to worry about 2 instead of 4. Jetting is a little bit easier. Again, you don't have to remove an air box, wiggle the carbs out of there, do a bunch of crazy stuff. And also, you know, I like the pod filter look, so bit the bullet, spent the $600, which is not a bad price for 2 really big Mikuni flat slide carburetors, especially with the custom welded manifold and everything in the picture that you saw before. All right, some facts about the kit. So it very much comes plug and play. I've already installed it here. We'll get into the time lapse here in a second. But the only modification I had to do at all was I had to shave a little bit off of the actual throttle tube mount to get that single wire throttle tube to fit. And that might just be because I had a cheap Amazon throttle tube, so that might not necessarily happen with your bike. Other than that, it was a direct bolt-on, direct swap. I mean, it literally took me 40 minutes at the most. It already comes pre-jetted, pre-synced, all of that. So it takes that entire process out of it. I threw them on, started the bike up. Once the bike got warm, it ran really, really smooth, much more smooth than I've gotten with the pod filters on the CB style carbs. So that alone should tell me that my investment was worth it, because I would have spent $500 to $600 anyways to get a shop to perfectly tune those pods.